Dixon Show. I'm Gabriella Kreuz alongside the top dog. How you doing?
I am actually fine. I feel good. I didn't do a lot this weekend.
Bye weekend?
We didn't have a game, so just kind of took it in. Just enjoyed football a little bit. A lot of games, a lot of interesting games that we're going to.
Yeah, there were some good games.
Yeah,
some clutch endings.
We're going to get into, but we also got to talk about Friday. Was it Friday? I think I went out to the Market District in Cuyahoga Falls for the Lipton Hard Iced Tea, and I got to mention this guy. Well, that wasn't there. I keep messing up, but a lot of people say they watch our show. But I think this was Saturday. I went to Dave's supermarket, and some guy was just tracking me down in the parking lot, and he's like, "Hey man, I just want you to know I love that show. Watch you guys always record it, and if I'm not gonna watch it," and his name was Mark. He said my last name is Dixon too, so his name was Mark Dixon. So I told him I'll give him a shout out.
Oh, cute. On
the show, and he really wanted me to make a point to say, make sure you tell Gab I said hi. Again, I'm like, what the hell about what is it? Am I chopped liver or something? They always make a point that I say hi to Gab. So, and then one thing that really made me mad today, because when I'm rushing to get in here, and if I don't see your Jeep, I'm happy.
Yeah. No, but I think I still beat you here.
Well, when I don't see your Jeep, I know I beat you to the studio.
Hanford and I have been a little tardy lately.
And here's and I gotta give McDonald's a hard time because at McDonald's, that's the key to you. We're looking for sponsors. Feel free to be a sponsor of the show. But on a serious note, I always go to McDonald's and I go through the drive-through and I want to get me one of these Diet Cokes. And they need to figure out a way.
We're listening.
Where you don't have to wait. Like, if I just want a Diet Coke, why do I have to wait on all these people you got? I think sometimes they let some people pull through the line that want the Uber or whatever. I think they pull through the line.
You can order on the app and then go sit in a parking spot. Like, it'll tell you, go to number 4, and then you sit there and someone runs out your Coke.
But see, you're technology
savvy.
Steps
for you, isn't it?
that's too complicated for me.
That's too many. Okay.
You know what?
You just call me. I'll put the order in, and you swing by.
You know what that's like to me? That's like when you walk inside of McDonald's and they got all the registers closed down, and they have these two what do you call them, where you got to go and you place your order. I don't want to do that. The hell with that. I want to walk right up to the counter, tell you what I want, you take my money, and it's over with.
Hanford, it's so easy to do the self-checkout.
Is it really?
Yeah, you click the pictures, and then you just click done.
Okay.
You got to give it a try. We're going to do the next time Jack comes in here. Shout out to Jack.
Right.
We got to just go to McDonald's and film Hanford just trying to figure it out.
well, okay. Well, maybe we'll. But one thing I got to say about them, they got that $5 meal. That, again, I'm a miser. I am. I just can't help it. They got that $5 meal. I just walk up there for that $5. You get your some fries. You get your double cheeseburger or chicken sandwich. You get your 4 McNuggets. Yeah. And you get a drink. So
you get a little bit of everything.
Pat, you ever tried that? It's pretty good, big dog.
Oh, dude, you know it, man. So Hanford, I'm gonna put you on some free game right now too. If the McDonald's app, the Cavs score over 120 points, you get a free any size fry. I think it's a large fry, actually.
Oh, wow.
You ever seen that on the score?
Really?
Get that McDonald's app, man, because the Cavs, they've been rolling. They've been having 120
you have to be
points.
At the game?
I don't think so.
Awesome.
Yeah, right. So the Cavs have been scoring over 120 points, man. You better get on that.
Well, you know what I need to do, because when I have
we'll have to talk about those.
Well, I have the app because I looked in the app and I think I have like 30,000 points or something.
Oh my gosh! So you do have the app.
I need to use something, but I never used it.
All right, I have a serious question for you.
That was his signing bonus.
Yeah, yeah, right.
McDonald's points.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. Okay. When you pull up to the window, you're telling me that you go to the app, you pull up the QR code, and you have them scan it?
No.
How do you have all these points?
Well, because what I do is I order, like, I like the sausage McMuffin with egg.
Oh, who doesn't?
And you could buy one and get one free on
I'm
the
starving.
app.
Why didn't you get me one this
But
week?
I don't show. But I didn't. But I don't show. What they do is they give you a code, and I just give them the code. So that's how it
Oh.
works for me.
I
don't show. But maybe you saying I could just show them they
Yeah.
could just scan it or something.
I think like the code is the QR code.
Yeah, he's
in
there,
his app.
Gab. We're on the same page.
Okay,
He's definitely
all
got
right.
the app.
So that's how he's racked up all these points.
We're on the
So
same
you
page
need
here.
to use your points, yeah?
I need to use.
Oh
those
man,
points.
Hanford.
But McDonald's, we're not giving you any more pub. Now we just want to let you know, feel free. And it's funny because a lot of my, friends, like the one in off Columbia Road, the McDonald's, my buddy owns that one, and I got a lot of friends that
own McDonald's?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
They have good
so
coffee.
they do. But I had a great weekend. I mean, like I said, I didn't do a lot. I just pretty much just relaxed.
You
and just-
recharged? Did you hit the elliptical?
I did. I hit the elliptical because I'm just getting back into my workout. It was a whole week I didn't work out because of the surgery I had on my mouth. But,
Oh, wow.
But now
With your tooth?
I'm back. I'm
Yeah.
back. It's so funny because on my way here, I got a call from Dr. Plath's office over in Avon Lake, and she said, "Hanford, we're just checking to make sure you're good for your appointment tomorrow at 3:45." And I said, "Are you sure it's tomorrow at 3:45? It's not Wednesday at 3:45?" Then she checked. She said, "I need to go back home today because it is Wednesday."
That is so funny. That's
She said
cute.
it is Wednesday at 3:45. But we have to talk about those Cavs.
We do. Okay, because speaking of the McDonald's and
Oh.
120 points, they scored 84 in the first half the other day, wasn't it?
Wow.
That had to be wasn't that a franchise record too?
Yeah, guys, they they tied the franchise record with 83 points in the first half
Okay.
against the Golden State Warriors.
Wow.
Wow.
Unbelievable stuff.
You talking about, I mean, those guys, I'm so happy. And again, we're going to jump into all this, but I'm just so happy they're finally starting to play together.
It's nice because for as heartbreaking Sundays can be with the Brownies right now, we've got something to look up to with the Cavs.
Well, and then we got to talk about those goddamn Steelers. I mean, all they do is just find a way to win a ball game.
You know how you love the Ravens, Loki?
Yeah.
I think I like.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry,
It's
sorry,
not
sorry.
low
No,
key.
yeah.
I won't say it. I won't
Say it ain't so.
No, but I mean, seriously, Mike Tomlin is so incredible. And then, honestly, I'm a Danger Russ fan. I just am. I think it's because he's married to Sierra, though.
Yeah.
And I just love Sierra.
Yeah.
But he had that beautiful floater downfield, a long ball too. What was the new kid's name?
Mike
I saw
Williams.
this, yeah. And it was perfect. It was chef's kiss. And then I was like, see, people always want to like downplay Russ Wilson, and I think he's still got a little bit in him.
Well, yeah, and it's an argument right now talking about whether or not he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. Russ has got a Super Bowl under his belt, and people were saying once they made that trade, that was the worst trade in the world. But I'm like you, I kind of like him, and I see what Mike Tomlin. He caught a lot of heat for what he did when he replaced Fields with Russ, but I'm a Russ fan too.
There it is.
I'm like you, and when you look at and when we dive into this a little bit later, I am going to give you some stats as far as Russ versus Fields, and people then when they take a look at this, they're going to understand. They're going to see it a little bit better and understand just how good Russ is playing right now. I'm telling you, he is a monster. Another thing we're going to jump into a little bit later is you were just telling me, because you looked at me and I thought it was just so funny. You said, Hanford, we're out there, but you said, Hanford, the Dallas Cowboys is a mess right now. And I don't know, you must be reading my mind because I was going to go there at some point, and we are going to go there because I think right now when you look at what their players are doing and some of the things their players are saying, there's a code that you just don't do those things. I mean, I think they're hurting their football team, and the coach is going through enough right now because you know as well as I do, when you win ball games, the head coach and the quarterback get all the credit. When you lose in ball games, the head coach and the quarterback are the ones that are catching all the hell when they're losing ball games. And right now, let's just face it, they're just losing ball games, and it just seemed like everybody's turning on Mike McCarthy. I think right now he's just a dead man walking right now with that organization. But that's another thing we're going to...
You know who's not, who's totally the opposite of all of that?
I know what you're going to say.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
I knew it.
And how clutch was that blocked field goal at the end of that game over the weekend? I was going to ask you, who do you think is going to be undefeated longer, the Chiefs or the Cavs?
Ooh.
As of shooting this show, by the time, I mean, we're going to have an answer.
You
I know the Chiefs got the Bills coming up. They've won 5 straight.
And that's going to be a tough task. You know, the Chiefs could say, people could say what they want to say about the Chiefs. They could say what they want to say about the Chiefs. Just win. They don't care how they do it. They just win ball games.
Okay, what do you think about Taylor Swift?
Hey, that's funny. That is funny because you know what they're starting to do right now?
Yes.
They're starting to whenever you see the Chiefs and the Chiefs on TV pretty much every week, and they're going to go to the box and they're going to watch Taylor Swift, but they're finding ways of creating how they can mention her during the course of the ball game, whether it's with the song or whether it's with something. I think I think it's cool.
I think it's super cool. Yeah.
I don't like her music. I mean, I'm not a Swiftie or anything like that.
I'm not a traditional Swiftie either.
Right.
Like, I can appreciate it. I never got, like, you know, if you're a Swiftie, you're obsessed. And I just never got to that level. But I have a huge respect, and I think that what she brings is awesome. And I kind of get a kick out of people getting annoyed by it too, because I'm like, oh, boo-hoo.
You think you think she's cute?
Yeah, I do. And I think that she's incredible at her craft.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're going to throw some subtle things to get to her throughout the game. And I think that's cool.
Well, I think she's finally, because Travis, I don't want to say she's pretty much have him hooked or whatever, but I think she's made him settle down a little bit, and I think that's good. You know what I mean?
Cause, you would know, huh?
I just think they're such a perfect match for each other.
Awesome, I do too, because you know, at first it seemed like two opposites, but now I'm like, all right, maybe they're an unlikely pairing that's perfect. And
unfortunately, we have to talk a little bit about our Cleveland Browns and where we are right now.
The reason we come in here.
We're gonna do all that.
Okay, well, thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. We'll take our first break, and we will get to those brownies right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It's time for our headlines brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. If you are looking to update your home, you've got to check out Northeast Factory Direct. They've got furniture, kitchen cabinets, hot tubs, mattresses, and more for way less than what you would pay at those really fancy retail stores. And you can visit them online at northeastfactorydirect.com or any of their stores. You can shop in at Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, or North Canton. And don't forget to ask about that Hanford Dixon bonus for your discount. Hanford and I, we've kind of got our eyes on a recliner here. We still have to pull the trigger on actually shooting the content with it so you can see and we can have someone to give it to.
Well, I think you're right. We do have to shoot the content, but the good thing is we have one that we like, and you guys are going to get a chance to see it. Very, very comfortable. But I got to say this about them, Gab. I was thinking about getting a hot tub, and again, they have everything there, but the hot tub that I was looking at, I mean, it's just so nice. Regular price everywhere else was about $12,000, and there at Northeast Factory Direct, I mean, it's about half the price.
Yeah,
like about
it is true.
$6,000. So you can't, you just absolutely just can't beat them. And I guarantee you, when you go, Gab just mentioned it. Mention the Hanford Dixon bonus, and I'm telling you, there's a little something special they'll do for you. But this place is just absolutely unbelievable. And you see him everywhere. I mean, he's on billboards. I mean, he's in ads all over the place. I'm surprised. Hey, big dog, Gab, you need to get Gab in one of those ads. So call her. Gab, are you ready? Call you, right? You ready?
Hey, I think he does it better. It's his thing. He's grown it.
Yeah.
I could be a background
Great
person.
Great guy.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you. News that's happened since we haven't chatted last week, but 𝗟𝗓 Smith, that trade. Cleveland got a 5th and 6th from Detroit for Smith and a 7th. So what do you think about that?
Well, it's kind of sad. I'm sad and I'm happy. I'm sad to lose 𝗟𝗓 because I thought he was contributing to this football team. I thought he was a way to protect Myles Garrett. And because, again, we talked about it, people, when they're going up against Myles, I mean, he is just so good. They want to chop him. They want to put about 2 guys, sometimes 3 guys on him just to keep him away from the quarterback. And sometimes that still doesn't work. And 𝗟𝗓 was taking some of that pressure off him. But now we got guys, a lot of our defensive tackles, Maurice Hurd, Mike Hall, Shelby, and Thomason, a lot of those guys, along with the defensive ends, they have to really, really step up. But then again, when you look at this whole thing, you got to be really, really happy for 𝗟𝗓 because even though he didn't play in this past game, I mean, because he just wasn't up to speed yet, but he is going to a football team, I mean, not far from here in Detroit, that is just playing phenomenal football, and when you look at what they did yesterday, I mean, obviously they were in a football game yesterday that I thought they were pretty much going to lose that ball game because they were pretty much behind the whole way, but they came back and they won. And it's hard not to say, even though you got the Kansas City Chiefs that are undefeated right now, it's hard not to say the Detroit Lions is not the best team or playing the best football in the National Football League. And I just like their coach. I mean, I really do. Here's what I say, Pat, and Gabby. When if you look at Detroit, their head football coach is an ex-player that played. When you look at a lot of these teams, what they're starting to do, they're starting to go get a lot of these ex-players, guys that obviously knows about football and have that respect of that locker room, and it's making them a much better football team. But 𝗟𝗓, getting back to the point, I was gonna go somewhere else, but I'll go there later in the show. But 𝗟𝗓 is with the team right now, but we have guys I think still can step up. And to answer your question, the only thing I just really hate is that he's just not there as that security blanket for Myles Garrett to keep them from triple and double teaming and triple teaming him when he's trying to get to the quarterback.
Okay, people are asking Stefanski, maybe even Andrew Berry, do you feel like they're in the hot seat, or is anybody's job in jeopardy here?
I think everybody's job is in jeopardy at this point of the season, because when you look at all those teams that have just won 1 ball game, 2 ball games, I think there's a problem. Stefanski, if you listen to Andrew Berry, if you read between the lines and you listening to his press conference, he is saying that Stefanski is, he mentions not only has he won Coach of the Year once, he's won it twice.
Yeah.
And he's saying that a lot of coaches that have won Coach of the Year, a lot of those coaches go on to win Super Bowls. But there's a first time for everything. I mean, there's a first time for everything. And I'm telling you, the owners want to see results. Yeah. They want to see the team winning. And when you look at our football team and all the talent,
owners had to have had a hand in this Deshaun thing. It's just a matter of who had the most say, because you wonder if, I don't know, if firing anyone would just be like a scapegoat to a poor decision that maybe wasn't really all their fault.
And I'm not saying, Gab, I'm not saying that we're going to fire Stefanski. I'm not saying we should fire Stefanski. I'm not saying we should fire Berry. I'm just saying that I guarantee you there's talk somewhere about it between, because, you have to have those conversations when you have a football team that's only won 2 games, and especially when you've spent the kind of money that we're spending on the guys that we have. But I don't think we're going to fire him, Pat. But I think that's a possibility.
So do you think they would fire the coach or Andrew Berry before they let go of Deshaun Watson? Because that seems like an interesting one. And actually, I'll put this up on the screen here. Producer Ryan, he tweeted this the other day. Browns should take note of what the Broncos have done moving on from Russell Wilson. They were able to get out of that contract, and now look where they're at with Bo Nix, challenging against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Do you think the Browns should get rid of Watson first, or?
Yeah, that makes the most sense to me.
But see,
I like Stefanski, and I think Andrew Berry probably gets dragged a little bit more than he should. But I don't know. Nick Pannone would have a different take.
Well, here's the thing too. I mean, Watson is not going anywhere. You guys can say what you want to say. Watson is not going anywhere.
Yeah,
we still got 2 more years. His contract is guaranteed, the entire contract. I don't know whether it's $70 million or $71 million or $90 million. It's one of the two. But still, that's a lot of money that we're on the hook for with this guy.
For sure.
So I just and we were hoping that Jameis Winston was gonna play a lot better than he did. In the first game he did, but he came back the second game and he was old Jameis Winston. And we just have to figure out what we have right now in DTR, because that's the kid that we drafted for the future to be a quarterback of this football team. I think we drafted him in the 5th round, but we need to see what we have with this guy. So it's gonna be interesting. But Pat, Gab, I think you look at what you'll start to see right now. You're gonna start to see a lot of teams, and we're halfway through, or more than halfway. I think we have 8 games remaining on the schedule. You're going to see a lot of these teams right now start to make moves as far as getting rid of their head football coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of coaches are in danger. You went through a coaching change in your career. We'll get to that a little bit later. But the Saints, I mean, they just fired Dennis Allen, guys. They're coming into we're going to New Orleans this week. They're not playing that great, but the Browns have a chance this week.
Yeah, this is a chance to win. What are your thoughts headed into this game?
Well,
on the road.
Well, until yesterday, I was kind of liking, our chances with this whole thing. But the Saints, who did they beat? They beat Atlanta. I think they beat Atlanta in Atlanta. And here's the thing about the National Football League. And again, you guys know this. Every single week, I don't care what it is. Every single week, you can lose. You can lose to any team. I mean, all those teams have professional athletes and good athletes on their team. It just depends on who's going to get up and who's going to be ready to play. And I thought, I said, well, we're going to ease the game for us. But now I just don't think so. I'm not so sure whether or not this is
even with the interim head coach. Who is it? The special teams coach?
But see,
I guess it doesn't change all their.
Yeah, but something like that can galvanize a team. Something like that can get a team really up and get them pumped up and make them start to play better football. And that's what I'm afraid of with the New Orleans Saints. I mean, obviously we need this win. We want this win.
Get really disruptive, like the substitute teacher effect. Like, oh, it's not the real teacher, so we're about to just go out there and play loose and play fun and do some damage.
I love it when you get like that, because you look like you're ready to play a few plays, like you have a few plays and you ready.
Listen.
You see her, Pat? She's got remind me of bumping and running, baby.
People don't realize Gab's an athlete. People don't realize
I don't think
that.
Hanford could guard me.
No, he can't check you. He cannot check you.
Well, you know what I would do though, Gab? I'll say this before we take a break. I wouldn't let you off the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
What that means, I'm
know
gonna
that.
bump and run you. I'm gonna hold you right on the line of scrimmage, because you know why? Because if you get away,
you don't want to take that chance.
No, because if you get away, I have to run behind you, and if I have to run behind you, I couldn't catch you. So that's right, you would score. So.
That is the right answer. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. We're going to be back after this short break. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We were just talking about previewing our Brownies with the Saints coming up. Hanford, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I think the Browns have a good chance against the Saints. They did win their first 2 games, but they dropped 7 straight before that win this past week. So I don't know. I'm thinking we got a good chance.
Well, you know what? Their record, Gab, is better than ours. I mean,
it is, but is it deceivingly so?
Well,
what did you think? Did you think that they were going to even win those first 2 games, Pat?
I thought they'd be 0-9 at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I did not think they were going to win those first 2 games. I was shocked when they did.
Yeah. You know what? Again, like you said, they came out of the gates winning the first 2 games, and now they've won 3. I think 3-7 or whatever the number is. But it's crazy because now this team is just, I think, ready to go. I think. And you ever been to New Orleans?
I haven't.
Pat, have you ever been to New Orleans?
I have not.
It's I'm telling you, this city is like no other. I mean, it's just.
I want to go so bad. The food.
Put that on your list. You guys have to go and visit New Orleans, if nothing else, just for the food. And then you got Bourbon Street, because I know it well because I'm from probably about an hour and a half drive from there, Mobile, Alabama, which is headed toward Florida. But I'm telling you, Bourbon Street, it's just, you would see anything on Bourbon Street. I mean, just imagine what I'm telling you now. You can see anything on Bourbon Street. It's just a good time. But you talk about the food, it's just gumbo, jambalaya,
man.
just to name.
I'm so hungry right now.
Fried,
you didn't bring me
fried catfish, perch, you name it. It's just there.
I love seafood.
I got to get back to football before you guys. You guys just took me off on.
Listen, Saints. They're gonna be in New Orleans. They're gonna get so much food. They're gonna be in a carb coma. Maybe that's why the Saints have a poor record. How many of those games have been at home? Are they just in a carb coma?
Yeah, and you know, my good buddy's going down there to the game. Kevin Mack is going to go because I think he's doing that true fan trip with a lot of the Browns fans. So that'd be a good thing if anybody thinking about going there. But it's gonna be a tough task for us. It's gonna be a tough task. First of all, we're playing away from home. We're playing at their home field, and they're playing better football, I think, right now than we are. That's a big task. And Gab, you know they've had a coaching change.
Yeah, and the coaching change, like you said, maybe that could work in their favor. You're familiar with a coaching change. Let's see, 1984, Sam Rutigliano. Is that how you say it?
Yes. No, you got it right.
How was that for you?
Well, you know, Sam was a different coach. Sam was pretty crazy.
Okay.
I mean, Sam was Sam, but Sam was a good coach. There's no question about it. He was a good coach. But we replaced Sam with Marty Schottenheimer, who was at the time was a defensive coordinator, and I think it's much easier on a football team when you promote within, and pretty much all the time, whenever they change coaches, they promote within, and that's what happened with us. See, Marty pretty much knew, our football team. He was a defensive coordinator, but he was with the overall scheme and everything, offensive and defensive. He knew that, so it was a much easier transaction for us. I think I don't know how you guys got some little surprise for me on that whole thing.
We do. Speaking of Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, Hanford, let me know if you recognize this guy who's about to be speaking right here. Let me know.
Sam, a good friend.
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry to see him go on that
Big
note.
Clay Matthews.
Is that the top dog?
Wow, look at that baby face.
Look at Minnie.
Frank Minnie. He really looks Minnie.
Coach Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, Hanford. So it's cool to see, it's cool to see all those guys. Ozzie was on there as well. But, when you go through a coaching change like that and you're still trying to keep that, cohesiveness, what do you do with a team like the Saints? I mean, they lost the locker room. I mean, they hated that head coach, What do you do to regroup when your coach gets changed?
Well, here's what's crazy to me today is, and I'm glad you guys went there. Again, we talked about Dallas. Okay, we talk about the mess that's going on there. I mean, guys, for Michael Parsons to come out and make a statement that he made yesterday about their head football coach, Mike McCarthy, he said he can leave and go where he wants to. I mean, that's unheard of for these players today. Think they could say whatever they want to say and when they want to say it, which is ridiculous. A leader of a football team, you can't make statements like that. You got to keep that, even if you're thinking that. You keep it to yourself. Yeah, because you have a lot of young players on the football team. because I remember when I first came in the league, I was a rookie. And a lot of those older players, I was my first year. Guys like Doug Deacon, Brian Sipe was on the team, and I looked up to those guys. I'm like, if they said something like that about a head coach, I would be like, man, this is a mess right here. And that's pretty much what they have going on in Dallas. I'll tell you this: Mike McCarthy is pretty much a dead man walking right now. He's pretty much a dead man walking as far as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to tell you where I was headed with my statement that I was talking about when I was talking about the Detroit Lions. You look at their head coach. He is a former player. You know who would be perfect to coach the Dallas Cowboys?
Here it goes.
Deion
Wow.
Sanders.
Oh.
Deion Sanders would be perfect to coach the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm not saying you have a coach right now, but if by chance you got rid of your coach, you didn't have a coach, I'm telling you, because you look at Deion played with the Dallas Cowboys, and he's with Colorado right now. Everywhere, he was at Jackson State. Everywhere pretty much that he's been winning. And you think those players wouldn't respect him if he came into the locker room?
He's a very likable guy.
I'll tell you what, too, like Shadir Sanders, his son, the quarterback, could be the number 1 overall pick. So the Cowboys could do the Herschel Walker trade and get that number 1 overall pick, bring in Deion plus his son. That'd be unbelievable.
And Prescott right now, obviously we know he's hurt. He's got a hamstring. And guys, and you know as well as I do because you're a runner, but whenever you have to operate on a hamstring, that's a serious, serious injury because he pretty much tore it to the bone. But wouldn't that be great, though? Can you imagine? Because Dallas Cowboys fans, you can say what you want to say about them. They're everywhere. And they're just, they're just arrogant fans. They are. I'm not mad at them. I'm just telling the truth about them.
Yeah.
And, boy, wouldn't that get that fan base going if they brought in a Deion Sanders to coach that team?
He really would be good energy.
Yes.
I would pay more attention, I think.
Yes, and his son, and he would do everything he can to probably just try to bring in his son as a quarterback. As that, and his son is just like a walking celebrity right now. He's everywhere, all over the place. He walks into anywhere in Colorado. People just absolutely love him. But that's where I was going to head with that whole thing. But I just couldn't believe. And then you got CeeDee Lamb. Getting back to the Dallas Cowboys, you got CeeDee Lamb on the sideline. Looked like he's fighting with the coach over there. So, and again, Dallas yesterday, they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, who right now is really taking control of that division right now. And everybody expected Dallas to win, but it's just not happening.
That's one of the things, too, Hanford. Like, would you expect if I told you the way that the Cowboys blew out the Browns in week 1 that you'd be sitting here right now if you're a Cowboys fan? I would not have expected that at all.
No.
They lost the locker room so quickly.
They imploded.
So did the Browns.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you're exactly right. If you'd asked me that question, I would have said no. But guys, getting back to Michael Parsons, I'm just shocked. I don't care how big of a star you are. In my opinion, you just don't do what he did. You just don't talk about your head coach like that. You have to have some respect there because this guy, you're not going to tell me this guy's not busting his butt every single day trying to do what he could do to make that football team a better football team. And there's no reason for you to just pile on to him like that and just talk about him. So, and I guarantee you.
I wonder, does the organization have a talk with you after that? Like, what are you going to do?
Well, how could you not? It's the elephant in the room.
I guess you can't.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem. And I think players should make as much as they want to make, but you're paying these guys so much money today that you're absolutely afraid to confront them. But, they all have their podcasts. They all have their little media outlet and little things that they're doing. But I just think that's just terrible. Terrible. And I can't imagine anyone on our team coming out, whether you like Sam, whether you like Marty, or whether you dislike either one of those guys. I cannot imagine anyone on our team coming out saying something like that about the head coach of our football team. I just cannot imagining it happening.
Yeah, times have changed. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It's time for our Lipton Hard Iced Tea Hard Hit of the Game. Hanford made a little special appearance over the weekend.
How did you guys get? Oh my God!
Yeah, we got the video footage of it. Look at Hanford.
That's where we were posted, right next to the bar. And
Right next to the Christmas ale, by the way.
Yeah.
Right next to the Christmas ale, Hanford.
Yeah, and people were just having a good time, and I just really enjoyed it. Nick was out there.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah,
it's a good spot. It's a fun time.
Nick was there, and Nick was trying to get out of there too, but I said no. I said, Nick, if I have to be here for 2 hours, you have to be here for 2 hours.
I went by myself. Nick, Jack, nobody showed up for me.
Really?
Yeah, no. It was just by my all by myself.
Well, that's a problem. And you know what? I'm going to tell somebody about that, but hell no. But we had a good time. It was a market district out in Cuyahoga Falls, and it was funny because I was driving there, and I said to myself, I said, man, I think I've been down here before because I went through a lot of I went a different route than when I came back, but I went through a lot of winding roads, and it was just absolutely beautiful out there. But I just thank you again to everybody at the store. Thank you to Lipton Hard Iced Tea. Thank you for being a sponsor.
Yeah, it was a really great time. Thanks so much, and we're going to take one more break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We're going around the NFL, brought to you by Garage Beer, our friends at Garage Beer. It's beer, flavored beer that tastes like beer. And I know Hanford loves him some Garage Beer. It's just that laughing. That's all I'm trying to go for most of the time. You know who wasn't laughing? Jared Goff when he threw 5 interceptions in that Detroit-Houston game. But they still came back and won it. They were down 29-3 at the half. Can you believe that?
Gab, I and I keep saying it. Detroit, I flip-flop sometimes between the best team in the National Football League,
right,
between Detroit and Kansas City. But I'll tell you what, this Detroit team, those Lions are just unbelievable this year. And again, I've said it all starts with their coach. But Houston is not a bad team right now. And again, that's another team that got an ex-player being their head football coach. But guys, I mean, for these guys, and you talked about it, Jared Goff to throw 5 interceptions, 5. Now, when you throw 5 interceptions, normally the opposing team are going to capitalize on those turnovers. Boy, their defense played unbelievable. I'm talking about Detroit's defense played unbelievable in this ball game, especially in the second half. And when you do that and you come back and win a game like you won, and they were not at home, they were in Houston. That's where this game was. It wasn't in Detroit. It was in Houston. And they came back and won this game. You have to say, Detroit right now, I think they're 8-1. I want to say they lost one ball game, but they're 8-1. And this football team.
Hey, their kicker was pretty clutch too.
Oh,
Pat, what was it? Back to back?
Yeah, Jake Bates, guys.
Pat,
back to back.
Did you see that? It barely went through the uprights, but it doesn't matter whether it's barely or whatever, as long as it goes through the uprights.
Gab, you could see the shadow on the goalpost.
That's crazy.
On back-to-back kicks.
Super
Unbelievable.
clutch.
Unbelievable stuff. He used to play in the UFL, I believe it was. Got an undrafted contract to play for the Lions, and now he's hitting game winners.
I love
it.
But he was even better than that. I mean, they said like a few weeks ago, this guy. I don't know if he was a fireman or something. I know that doesn't sound right, but he was like you said, he was doing something, but it wasn't in the National Football League, and he got a chance to play. And boy, is he making the best of that opportunity.
Guys, he was playing, I think, in the UFL or whatever it was, but they were playing at Ford Field, which was the Lions just had a chance to scout him,
right? And
he hit a 62-yard game winner in their game, so the Lions are like, well, yeah, bring him in for a tryout, and now he's signed to the active roster, hitting game winners. Unbelievable story, Jake Bates.
I just got chills. That's so cool. Well, okay, not to bring it down, but I wanted to go to the Steelers and Commanders They're going to be playing in Washington.
I tell you, that was a big game for the Pittsburgh Steelers because Pittsburgh right now have Baltimore that is breathing all down their neck right now in the AFC North. And people can say what they want to say about Mike Tomlin. All he does is just win. This guy, I think he's had 17 consecutive winning seasons, and I don't know if anyone has a record like that. I mean, he's just unbelievable. And a lot of people gave him a lot of credit, guys. A lot of grief when he decided to take Justin Fields out and replace him with Russell Wilson as the quarterback. But check out these numbers right here. Okay, now I'm talking about numbers as far as Fields versus Wilson. Points per game. Fields 20.7.
Mm-hmm.
Russ has come up with 30.3. Over 30 points a game now. Yards per play. I mean, they're 298 yards to 382. Now, passing yards, 184 to 296. I mean, I'm telling you, Russ right now has made them a better football team, and as a result, they have a chance right now to hold on to that AFC North, holding off the Baltimore Ravens. But did you see when they made the play, Gab, and you talked about this, when they made the move to bring in Mike Williams as a wide receiver, did you see that clutch play? I mean, it was a good throw by Russell Wilson, but it was an even better catch than in that winning touchdown pass. But, guys, those Pittsburgh Steelers are just unbelievable. But there still was a little controversy in this game, Gab.
Yep.
There was a fourth down play. There's still people saying, I know a lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers fans are saying this right now. They are saying that was a first down. I think it was like 4th and 10. And they went back. They looked at it. The ref looked at it, and he said no. He said first down, Pittsburgh. And he didn't give that play to the Commanders. And as a result, Pittsburgh Steelers just took a knee, ran out the clock, and won this ball game. But the Steelers right now, their record is 7-2, top of the AFC North, and again, right behind them is the Baltimore Ravens. But a great game.
How about that Thursday night game too? Because like the Steelers needed that win.
Yeah.
After that Ravens win on Thursday night, did you guys watch that game on Thursday?
Yes.
Jamar Chase had, I think, 240 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I didn't watch it. My sister was betting on it, so I heard,
I
heard indirectly about it.
Yep, exactly. But that was an unbelievable game because those two teams, your cousin Joe Burrow, your lookalike Joe Burrow, Gab, he went off, but still not enough to beat the Ravens.
They're one game out of being right in playoff
wild card, is it? Yeah.
Contention here?
Well, you know what happened, too.
Yeah, is Cincinnati like a legitimate playoff team?
Cincinnati's got a good football team. They have a good football team. They're always going to have a good football team as long as Joe Burrow is their quarterback. And you got Chase and a lot of those guys. I tell you, and their defense is not bad. Baltimore's problem right now is their defense. Their offense can score points, but they just their defense can't stop anyone. And for Chase to have as many yards as he did just went off on them is just ridiculous. It was like who's going to get the ball last. But Baltimore, if it was me, what I would have done, I would have just kicked the field goal. I'm not going for 2, and my nerves are just too bad for that one.
You're more old school too, but so they went for 2 with 40 seconds left, right? Because they didn't want to give Lamar a chance to get the ball and go down. And Justin Tucker, who's been struggling this year to get a game winner, but he's still probably the greatest kicker of all time. You don't want to give him a chance, so that's why they went for 2. But Gab, I don't think I like that though. I think you tie the game. The way that you were playing, the Ravens' defense was not playing good. What would you have done in that situation?
So you want to tie it up?
Yeah.
And then
to potentially send it to overtime.
Let's tie it up and take our chance.
Because you want to take our chances in overtime.
But here's the thing, too, guys. This was very, very important. A lot of people are saying that the refs missed some calls, missed 2 critical calls in there. But I disagree because they're saying that the defensive lineman hit Joe Burrow's in the face, grabbed his face mask, but they didn't call the one where the defensive lineman is taking the guy, pulling him down as a hold call. So me personally, I thought that was a good no call. I mean, Cincinnati fans won't agree with that, but I thought it was just a good no call. Let the guys play football. That's what I always say. Let them play football. Don't let the refs decide the game. But that was a great great
Yeah.
game. I'm glad you mentioned that, Pat, because I had
That was
pretty
a big
much
game.
I mean, pretty much.
that puts the Bengals at 4-6 in the division, right? So when you look around the AFC, the Browns are out of it, guys. I hate to break it to you, but do you think the Steelers can really hold on up top? I mean, they're going to be playing the Ravens this Sunday, 1 p.m.
Right.
at Heinz Field. Acrisure Stadium.
And
So
Ravens
that's a
have won
tough one.
7 of their last 8 games, and we know how you feel about Ozzie and the Ravens.
Boy, that place is gonna be rocking. Now I understand
But the
why.
Steelers have won 7 of their last 8 matchups against the
But
Ravens.
now I understand why. Someone sent me a text and it said, "Do I think Ozzie can get tickets to the Steelers?" He just said the Steelers game Sunday. So, and I had no idea. You just told me that they were playing the Baltimore Ravens. And is that in Pittsburgh?
Yes, it is. It's in Pittsburgh.
Boy, that's
There's going to be some terrible towels out on that one.
Listen to me. That place is going to be rocking in Pittsburgh. So now I understand why he was saying that. Okay. You want to jump to Kansas City?
Okay, let's go. Kansas City.
With their lucky, Seth.
What are you thinking? Is Kansas City really going to...
They are so lucky. I cannot believe how lucky they are.
Yeah, guys, they blocked a field goal. It was 35-yarder, Gab, to end the game. The Broncos missed that field goal. The Chiefs blocked it to win it. Hanford, it's only a 35-yard field goal. That should not be blocked.
Should never happen.
Should not be blocked.
I guarantee you, special team coach is so mad at his football team, and well, obviously the head coach is mad.
What
at
is
the
that?
football.
How do you mess that up?
Well, because and Denver, I mean, Denver's defense. You can say what you want to say, even though the Baltimore Ravens beat up on them a little bit. I mean, their defense is legit, I think. But you cannot let Kansas City off the hook like that when you played this whole game and you have them. You can't let that happen. And I agree with you, Pat, 100% on that thing. And now, here's what's going to happen, guys. I mean, we're going to see how good Kansas City really are right now because next week they have to go play the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills, Gab, as you mentioned earlier, on a 5-game winning streak. And they're playing really, really good right now.
Yeah, this will be a really good match.
Yeah, and this is 2 teams in the AFC. So
who do you have?
So you got here's what's going to be interesting. You got those 2 teams playing each other, and then also you have 2 more teams in the AFC North that are playing each other, talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. I think when it comes down to it, one of these 4 teams are going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. It's going to be one of these 4 teams, so it's going to be interesting to see. But if I were to pick any of those games, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And even though the Kansas City Chiefs are winning the way they're winning and Buffalo's won 5 straight, I'm still going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow,
because Reed and company, they find a way to win. And Travis Kelce right now, I think he caught another touchdown pass, and I think he's either tied or he's got the lead for franchise touchdowns. Correct. As far as with the tight end.
Yeah, tight ends. He tied Anthony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez.
Yeah.
But so that's the thing about the Chiefs being undefeated. Doesn't this feel like the Eagles of 2 years ago where they were like 7-0, 8-0, but they're not even playing well? It's one of the weirdest, like, we've had a couple of these teams in the last couple of years where they're undefeated in spite of themselves. Don't you think, Hanford?
But they find a way to win.
They just find a way to win. It doesn't make any sense.
They find a way to win, and that's what it's all about, just finding a way to win. These guys always find a way to win.
We'll see if you're right.
You got it.
Coming up this weekend. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. We'll be back right after this. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. We are just wrapping up here down at Burke Lakefront Airport where the sun is shining, and we had a bye week, so no news is good news for us.
You're right. It is a good thing. We didn't lose a game this week, so that's.
And we still have the Cavs to look forward to too.
Boy, those Cavs! Congratulations. We're so proud of you guys, and we even though the record I think is the Golden State Warriors with 24 games. That's all right. That's all right. Just keep and take them one at a time, and we are behind you guys 100%. We also have to say, Gab, thank you to all the veterans out there because we thank you guys for your service.
Absolutely.
We really have to say that because without those guys, oh my God. So thank you for that.
Veterans Day, and even though this will air not on Veterans Day, I'm happy that we took a moment to give them a shout out. Thank you for your service, and thank you for watching the Hanford Dixon Show.
Some people
will see you
say
next
I'm
week.
no good or crazy as can be.